Hey everybody, it's Ace here with Ace's Takes. Welcome to my channel. Today I am not unboxing anything. I am talking about my wish list experience at Hermes. 2 weeks ago, we went in, so I bought my first item of Hermes in, I don't know, February of this year, and we're in September now, and I've kind of gone gangbusters on doing a deep dive into the company, learning about it. I knew about it, but learning more about the items and the company and the different things that they have. And so I have a Twilly scarf, I have a full 90 centimeter scarf, I have a scarf ring, now I have 2 bags. I have a small leather good, my husband has small leather goods, and then we added some cups to our collection. So we've got great things that are going on. And originally when I went in, I was not thinking I would be a Birkin or a Kelly girl because they are not shoulder bags. But the more that we've spent time in the store, the more that I see them, and I really like them. And so the last time that we were in, when we had the amazing experience with our sales associate, and my husband asked about that, and she mentioned that that takes time, that's a relationship, and you need to build a wish list. So I reached out to her last week and said, I think I'm ready to build my wish list. And so we made an appointment for a Saturday, even though you typically don't make appointments on Saturdays. She was able to take us in early Saturday morning, and we arrived at the store, and I thought it was going to be me going in and basically saying, I'll take any and everything that you have because their bags are so scarce and I really wanted to be open. But what we did was we went into a private room and we looked at samples. So I was very surprised. I don't know what, I don't think I had no expectations, I guess. So we went up to the second floor in the San Francisco store and opened up a mirror and went into the tailor room where they custom make suits. And she brought in 2 Birkins and 2 Kellys that were demos. Brought in a Birkin 30 and a Birkin 35, and then a Kelly 28 and a Kelly 25. And she said, based on my size, she would not recommend going smaller. Now, the mini Evelyn bag that I have is tiny, and so I'm sure I could do a tiny bag, but if I'm going to get an investment piece like this, I think that that's an accurate assessment to say, I don't want to go small. She said, you want the first one that you buy, if it's going to be the only one, to be the one that meets all of your needs. And when my husband and I were looking originally, we were thinking Kelly's. That was going to be the way that I was leaning. But she brought out a beautiful 35 red Birkin, and I would have taken it in a heartbeat. And it was a Cellier. No, actually, it was a Returne. Sorry. That was the one had a little bit more of a slouchy look to it. The leather was very supple. The 30 was more than it was in the A2 color, standard color. And I opened them up, I kind of held them, and I really, that red was just gorgeous. So I felt those, and we were both surprised. My husband and I were like, oh, okay, the 35 is great, the 30 is great. Like I was thinking maybe a 20, maybe a 25. I had no concept of the size. So to be able to be in the store and hold them and put them on and try them, that was phenomenal. So then she pulled out the Kelly 28 in a navy that was the Cellier, had that structure. I think it was in the Togo leather, and with the strap. And then the other was a 25, and it was the Returne in that it was a hot pink, but it was slouchy. She said, kind of think of it like love handles. And so I knew that if I was going to do a Kelly, I wanted it to have the structure, but if it was a Birkin, I was okay with either. And so I said, honestly, I'm okay with either of these. But she said, which one are you more drawn to? And I said I was drawn to the Birkins. Those two were the ones where if I had to, make a decision, end of the world, what's it going to be? It would be the Birkin. And then she pulled out this huge, like, file. It wasn't a file, but like a huge like desk organizer with little cards that had all of the different leathers and all of the different colors, exotics, just from whites all the way to blacks and through, and different. She pulled out all of the gold brown color, like it's a tan color, but they call it gold. She pulled out all of those in different leathers and said, these are all the same color, but look at the different leathers. What do you think of these? And then she did the same thing with the gris color. And I basically was like, I don't want white because I'm going to get it dirty. And I don't really want a pale pink or maybe the yellows, but everything else, like, we started talking about it and she said, you seem like you really like rich colors. And I said, absolutely. I love peacock colors. And so one of the things, she was writing notes as we were talking about this, and she said, it's easier if you can be more open, because the more open you are, the more options you have. And so she said there were 4 categories of things that you're looking at: what style bag, what size bag, what color bag, and what hardware. And so for me, I said, I don't care about the like she was trying to get me to prioritize. And I said, I don't really care about the hardware if it looks good with the bag. So the Mini Evelyn has silver hardware, and the Della Cavalleria I have has gold hardware. Both of those are gorgeous. I'm in my gold era, but that doesn't mean I'm going to turn down a silver bag. And then we decided the size. And then we just, I said I'd be open to a 30 or a 35. And then we decided the bag. And then in terms of color, I have a lot of flexibility. I do know that if I walked in there and said, I want a black and gold, I'd be waiting 15 years. It's not going to happen, because I'm not somebody who's going in there every week and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just not me. So I don't feel like that's going to happen. And that's fine. I think if I was to get a colored bag, yay, they're gorgeous. It's something that goes with everything. And so talking about those different categories, trying the bags, looking at the swatches, it was really just a really cool experience. And in addition to that, she asked us, what do you want to drink? Do you want champagne? Do you want this? Knowing that we were just developing a wish list. And we shared stories. We spent probably 30 minutes in the room going through and talking about that. It was a really special experience, and it made me feel welcome. I didn't feel judged. And the sales associate was very, I know that people work hard for their money, and I want to respect every single level of that. And so I just feel like we met the person that is going to be, that makes it everything that it is. So I'm really thankful for her. She introduced us to the manager later when we were there. And it was just such a great experience. And so I'm encouraging, I hope that other people have had that same experience. And this isn't, your first rodeo, but I don't know how long we're going to wait. And I don't know if it matters. Like, yes, it's end game bucket list, wonderful things. I don't think I'm going to get the call. I really did want her to come out and be like, look what we have today. And then us be able to take it home. But I just like the craftsmanship of the company. I like the experiences that we've had, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't necessarily feel like I'm playing the game. I'm not going to go in and buy shit I don't want. I can tell you that right now. If I don't like it, I'm not going to spend money on it, because I worked very hard for my money. So if that means that I come home with some things that I like, great. It is what it is, right? Thanks for watching.